We've all heard that relationships can lose their spark after 2 or 3 years. You start out your relationship completely in love, unable to take your hands off each other, yet that initial infatuation and the attraction driven by hormones, that spark, it doesn't last forever. It's actually designed to die out after it's served its animalistic purpose to ensure procreation and the continuation of the species. With our lifespan constantly increasing, this means that for many couples, their relationship ends long before death do us part. If you're like me, you probably tried everything. Going on vacation, taking courses together, having kids, yet gradually you begin to feel increasingly indifferent towards each other. Don't get me wrong, it might be that everything is fine. You have kids, a family, everything you need, but you're just not feeling it anymore. It's not as exciting for you. You've lost that spark. Kabbalist Dr. Michael Lightman's teacher, the Rabash, used to say that love is like a pet. You need to constantly feed it for it to live. Want to know what to feed it? In this lesson, we're going to talk about the secret of the wisdom of Kabbalah to feeding our love so that it continues to grow on and on. We can reignite that spark and passion, but only by rising above the ego. If we want our relationships to stand the test of time, we have to learn to love one another above our growing ego. Only that will allow us to open up new horizons in our connection. Because when you accept your partner as more important to you than yourself, and they do the same for you, you can reach a state where your connection is constantly growing, because the ever-growing ego is constantly giving you hurdles to overcome. Above these hurdles, you discover deeper levels of connection, and so the love constantly renews itself. This is the key to feeling a renewed sense of energy and passion in your relationship. You may notice that when couples go through some hardship together, they emerge from that crisis renewed and recharged. So does that mean we need to aspire for some unexpected crisis? Of course not. This is why nature is providing us with ample opportunities to renew our love without the need to survive a real-life hardship. You see, hate and rejection appear naturally. And when you use those in order to rise above them, boom, love reappears. And you see your partner like you did when you first met. You feel even more deeply in love with them. That is the secret. So how do we do that in practice? Just like we discussed throughout our course. But I want you to really make this a daily habit that will sustain your relationship over time. The trick is to do what's nice and pleasant for the other person above what that might feel like to you in the moment. In fact, it's especially where you don't feel like doing it that you want to make this effort. For example, let's say my partner loves to leave their shoes and clothes everywhere around the house. Sure, it drives me nuts to come home and find their stuff all over the bedroom floor. Now, I can either go and tell them how annoying they are and probably get in a huge fight with them over it, or I can use this trigger as an opportunity to rise above myself and put those shoes away for them. Now, I don't just do this in secret. I let them know about it. I show them how I gladly stepped on my pride to do this for them. Of course, I expect them to do the same for me. That's the only expectation we should have of one another, to play this game together. And I don't demand it. I just keep giving them examples of how I overcame my ego, my anger, my resentment, and I keep feeding our love pet. By that, we rise above our ego. Want to feed your love pet some more? Give compliments to your partner, especially on those days you're not feeling it. Show gestures of love and smile a lot. Even if you feel the opposite on the inside, you act as if you're totally into it. And this acting is a very serious thing. It turns this artificial goodness into the reality of your relationship. It may feel fake in the beginning, but these artificial acts of affection, they move that needle in your relationship towards connection. Since we learn best from example, by doing this, you set the tone and give your partner the motivation to do the same for you. In this way, you both feed your love pet all the time, using those negative triggers as opportunities to rise above the ego, make concessions, and strengthen your love. Looking at the pace of change in our culture, with individualism constantly growing, the ego constantly growing, it's clear that relationships will gradually become impossible to sustain unless we learn how to rise above ego to create real, lasting love. Having an environment that supports your effort as a couple is beneficial. Seeing other couples work on making concessions is a powerful example. Accountability is also important to help you stick to your intentions. Also, because we live in a network where our thoughts and emotions constantly influence others in that network, the more couples who practice this work, the easier it will be to collectively rise above the ego and connect. I want to congratulate you for making it through our course. We learned some pretty serious things about ourselves, about love, and about fulfilling our spiritual potential. There are no magic bullets, but the good news is that many small acts performed consistently together yield tremendous results. This is how nature grows every creature, and this is how we grow our love. I wish you to experience the greatest pleasure that exists in nature, true love.